let's take forward this discussion. Aditya Agarwal is the CFO at Cleartrip and now joins us on the show. Aditya, thanks so much for taking time out. So where is it Indians are really flocking to? And if you could just give us maybe a year-on comparison, what we've seen or over the last few months, how much really incrementally has the surge been in travel demand?
Yeah, thank you so much, and good morning to you and your viewers. Right, this is the peak travel season for the industry, and this year especially, we're seeing a lot of spike in demand across all destinations. At an overall level, we are seeing close to a 12% year-on-year jump in demand. If we look at April and May this year versus April and May last year, within this, we are seeing an increasingly high propensity for Indians to travel overseas. Domestic the first one to catch up post-COVID, and we exceeded pre-COVID levels last year. This year, international travel is poised to exceed pre-COVID as well. Especially short-haul destinations are doing very well. If I look at the usual suspects like Bangkok, Kate, Bali, and Singapore doing very, very well. And even newer destinations that are emerging, places like Vietnam. One thing common to a lot of these places is they have made it much easier for Indians to travel, either by providing visa-free travel or making it much easier for Indians to obtain visa. So that is becoming a big spur in demand. Also, we have very good connections between Indian cities and some of these destinations now, where a lot of local carriers are operating. So it's very affordable to travel to some of these destinations. It's almost as cheap as traveling domestically in some cases. The long haul ones, London and Toronto continue to do very well. If I look at domestically, hill stations are always in demand at the time of the year. So Srinagar, Dehradun, Bagdogra, they are doing very well. But also very, very interestingly, some places you would not usually expect at this time of the year, like Jaipur and they are also fueling a lot of demand.
But Aditya, with all this demand and, vengeance to actually go out and travel also comes high ticket prices, right? And especially because of, fewer airlines now in the domestic skies and all the problems that Vistara, for instance, has also been facing. One is seeing an escalation in ticket prices. So are you saying that the demand is still as robust and people are willing to dish out more for the same holiday?
Demand remains very robust, right? You're right, prices are high. Especially domestic prices are significantly higher. Domestic prices are close to 20% higher, at least in the data that we see, bookings data for April and May versus last year. So the average domestic ticket costing close to 6,300, 6,400 right now, compared to 5,200 last year. That's a significant spike. But people are making it up, right? So if we look at the mix of destinations, that is changing. International prices are incidentally lower. It's not the prices have dropped, but the mix of short haul versus long haul has changed. A lot of people are traveling to short haul destinations. So the average international ticket is close to 17% lower right now as compared to last year. And that is a reflection of the fact that a lot more people are traveling with, say, 4-hour window from a flight from India to overseas. So people are adapting by changing the destinations that they are traveling to. Also, increasingly, we are providing a lot of affordability options. So while the overall ticket price has increased for domestic destinations, you can now pay for it in 3 installments, 6 installments. So that is also making it easier sell to customers.
Right, Aditya. Good morning. This is Vinny joining in the conversation as well. Obviously, he spoke about ticket prices. He spoke about how the demand trend is increasing. Any specific behavior that is emerging in terms of the destinations that Indians are picking out or anything? Obviously, we do know spiritual tourism is there, but obviously we have the Olympics this time as well. So how is that something that you're seeing in terms of trend? Are there any signs of early booking? Are customers actually going for much earlier booking, or there's a lot of high-end customers are booking at last minute time?
No, that's a great question. And you're right, there is a change in customer behavior. We've seen that the bookings for summer travel peak in the first couple of weeks of April. This time, we have seen a massive booking demand coming from middle of March itself. So we launched our travel event called Nation of Vacation in March. And we saw that the booking window moved ahead by close to 2 to 3 weeks, and nearly like 37% of the bookings for summer travel happened in that window, which is not something that we've seen before. I think we increasingly see this sort of trend. In the past, people have always had an opportunity to book tickets at the last minute because when airlines were running at 70 to 80% load factors, there were some great last minute tickets to be had. That is not the case anymore. A lot of airlines are operating at 90 plus load factors, which means that we are increasingly encouraging our customers to book as early as they can and take advantage of low fares while they can.
So I just want to understand that given the climate that we're in, where you're talking about a bump up in travel demand, how much on average have hotel prices increased or air travel prices increased? How much more will we have to shell out, or is that pretty much still being leveled?
Yeah, see, in air, like I mentioned, in domestic travel, we are seeing close to a 17 to 18% jump versus last year. And domestic flights are pretty much running at full capacity, even during the weekend, right? I was traveling during the weekend, and airports, aircraft, all are running quite full. So that's the trend that we are seeing in flights. In hotels, the spike is there, but a little lesser. It's in the low double digits, is what I would say, where we are seeing a spike. But there is still available inventory as far as hotels is concerned. And we are seeing that people are able to still make bookings at these levels. As far as, I think there was an earlier question, right, around Olympics. I think we've definitely seen some early demand come in, which is related to global sports events. Olympics is one. There is the T20 World Cup, which is also coming up, US and Indies. So we are also seeing initial signs of, especially with IPL going on, there is already massive T20 fever in the country. So people are taking advantage of the fact that right, we still have some good fares available and making early bookings for some of the events.
All right, thanks so much for putting that into perspective and giving us a sense as to what the demand outlook is, as well as a bump up in prices.